My name is Sife Morrison, and this is This Week in Car Audio. Tune in. This Week in Car Audio. Tune in. We'll be talking about bass, talking about chips, talking about rings. You ain't got them, zip your lip. You got a problem you haven't found, check your grounds. The show about to start. Tune in. This Week in Car Audio. Yeah. Tune in. This Week in Car Audio.
Three,
Watch me for your start.
1.
Ready, set, go! 149 right out of the gate. That's what happens when you help me, let me help you start. Just say it. 147.7, 147. Hey, guess what? That's the right way to do it. I'm just another tool in the box. 149.3, 149.6, 149.5, 149.7, 149.7, 149.7, 149.7 over here, 149.7 over there, 149.8, 149.9, 149.8. Mike Max all over the place. So is Gary. 149.9. Oh, that's his first time in base race. So he's a base race world champion. A cycling world champion.
All right, this is Doug Stockton here, This Week in Car Audio, with Gary Killian, world champion, base racer, top dog, and DB Drag. So DB Drag, he competed at World Finals from 2010 every year till 2016. In base race, he was 2010 through 2014, 16, 17. In Cyclone, 2010 to 2014. In Top Dog, he competed 2013 to 2017. He has rings. In 2015, he has a DB Drag ring. In 2013, he has a base race ring. In 2010, he has a Cyclone ring. 2013, he has a Cyclone ring. And 2015, he has a ring for Cyclone. Mr. Gary Killian. Hey, thanks for joining me today, bud.
Thank you for having me.
Great to see you. All right. No, so, this is my new podcast, thanks to Lucky McGovern and a couple other people. Sife Morrison helped out with the intro and some other things going on. So we got to, this is really we're trying to get this thing going. I had a guest on last week. It didn't go as well, so I upgraded all my internet stuff and my computer and whatnot and got it going. Lucky helped me get all that worked out, so thanks to Lucky. As a matter of fact, right now we have Lucky watching. We have Woody McDonald, a couple other people, Grant Stapleton. They all say hi. So hi, guys. Thanks for tuning in. This is going to be a new show. As most of you guys know, I was helping out with Lucky's behind the scenes, just kind of helping him get all this stuff going. It was actually all Lucky. I was just kind of helping him put together guests and whatnot. So we, like I said, that was all the good stuff we did. Difference is I am going to be doing this as tips and tricks and things that you may have messed up in car audio. So if mistakes you had, we can share this with other people, and by doing that, we are hoping to help them from making the same mistakes. So how you doing today, Mr. Gary?
Oh, just another day of living the dream.
That's awesome. It seems to have frozen on me over here. but it's saying I'm getting a good live stream on my end, but my other laptop saying we're frozen. If we're frozen, tell me please on the comments. Anyway, so let's go over base race, Mr. Gary. So let's start where we did last time we did this, on Monday. We'll start the same way. Hopefully this all gets worked out. But anyway, so when you started doing base race, how do you get prepped up?
Well, the first thing you got to do is clear your head, and it takes a lot of concentration. I try to lose out everything that's been bugging me. Take every thought away that you've got in your head other than, your competition for right then. Make sure that your equipment is all up to par, ready to go. Make sure that everything's charged up. Make sure that you got your volume settings. If you're using a bass knob, you got to know where to come out at. There's, just basically just a rundown. It doesn't hurt to make a checklist. I never did. That's how I made my mistakes, is not having a checklist, thinking I've got everything, and then about the time something goes wrong, you go, oh yeah, forgot that. And it happens to us. So yeah, I just make sure that I think I got all of my ducks in a row as far as your music. A lot of people, when they use these songs, they start off and there's an intro on it. And if you're going to do a bass race, when you come out of that gate, you better have your guns blaring. And if you're waiting on that bass line, that meter's reading that 0 and you're starting out horrible and you're going to be chasing yourself. So those are some of the things that come to mind, right off the bat. Of course, there's probably about twice as many that I'm not even thinking about. You put me on the spot. It's really easy for me to forget everything that, just like when you're up there on the line. So same thing.
Lucky says, make sure your bass knob is in the right location when you start.
Yeah, that, your volume knob, your bass knob. Yeah, I think we've all pretty much done something like that, at one time or another.
Yep. So, that's pretty much your prep. It's really about the song, right? Make sure you have a nice, consistent song. And once you get that song going, now we have that thing called song quality in the DB drag world, right? And that song quality is really, really important. You have to, they check the two parts of the song, which is the amplitude, and then confirming that it's not one continuous note, and then also checking for frequency. So those are the two things that they're doing right now with the song quality, which is a score you need to reach during the competition, which is a little different than the last time you competed, correct? So a lot of thing is people are using Boom Check now. Some of the songs that were used in the years past don't quite pass the muster for the song quality check. Odd.
You're kidding.
So, I know you couldn't see that, but that was the video we watched was the 2013 base race World Finals. You winning the 149.9 base race ring. So that was cool. Got to see your celebration. Leslie there, when she was younger, which is all cool. That's a good thing. How do you base race? Brian Nyman wants to know how to base race.
Well, tell Brian Nyman what you do is you sign up for the Pee Wee class. Brian Nyman is actually one that I jumped into before I ever started base racing and was watching him. And he was actually one that was giving me the pointers and showing me. So he knows exactly how to base race. Don't let him fool anybody.
Yeah, he can walk in pretty much any vehicle and base race just fine,
Yeah, right, he can. And we know it.
Yeah, and everybody knows it.
Yep.
Leslie's watching now. She says, hi, sexy. She must be talking about me. But yeah, no, base race is fun. Cyclone. Originally, you were known as the King of Cyclone. Base race, for those people that don't know or aren't part of it, is a 30-second average of music. You're classified based on how loud you qualify. So you can qualify in any class you like, 129, 139, or 129.9 and down, 130 to 139.9, 140 to 149.9, 150 to 159.9 are the classes we typically use. You can compete in any of those classes that you would like. Brian Nyman says he's brand new, just in case you didn't know.
Mm-hmm. Sure he is.
So that's what base race is. It's a 30-second average of music. Whoever gets close to the 9.9 without going over, remember it's an average. So as your volume goes up and down, the score goes up and down. And once again, it's just whoever gets the closest they can to 9.9 without going over. And it's real simple to do. And it's real simple to screw up.
Appreciate it.
So that's base race. Then you formerly, before base race came, before you started doing that, you were the King of Cyclone. King of Cyclone. So Cyclone, for you guys that don't know, so when Gary did it, it was a 30-second average of music. You start your music, then we start the meter. In base race and top dog, you don't start your music till after the screen says go. Oh, so did you have any tricks for base race before we get into Cyclone?
Well, I don't really know if you call them tricks. We've all got our little things that we like to do. One thing that I learned is that it may be a slight variance, but it seems like all of these machines are just a little bit off of each other. When I talk about that, I'm talking about like some of them that suck dBs from you and rob you. You're probably a little familiar with that because I know I've heard a lot of complaints over the time that like, Doug's robbing dBs from me, man. He says I'm louder at home. It's just like it's that other hat that 5/10 or whatever. It seems like we're always louder at home. It seems. And then once we pull up in the lanes and when it really matters, it's when we we can't pull off that same number that we've been doing. But I know that one of the things that really makes an impact when you are practicing at home and excuse me, and you're practicing with your laptop, that delay, that change in time, that variance between when you're watching your score on a laptop and you're watching your score on a monitor, that throws me off big time. And I think that if you are going to really try to nail it down and be as good as you possibly can be, practice with that remote monitor, because I notice a big difference. I mean, some people may not think it's a very big difference, but it's a big difference for me. And so I see that difference. And then also how fast that particular machine is going to start reading from the time that it says go. When it says ready, set, go, we've all got our own little time when we want to take off. It used to be on like set. It used to be maybe a little before set, a little after set, but before go. If you wait on go, you're late, and you're always going to be late. But all it takes is just that jump a little too soon and you red light, and then you're done. So one of the tricks that I like to do is I like to watch when I hear people's bass kick on. When I'm watching the ready, set, go, I just make that mental note of when they're taking off, and I see if somebody red lights. I try to not take off that early, but as close as I can to it. So that one helps as well. And like I said,
that leads to choosing what class you want to compete in, right? So if you do make a mistake, you don't want to be in a class that you have to go full tilt, right? So if you're only doing 142, you don't want to play in the 139.9 class. You want to play in the 129. So if you do make a mistake, you can catch back up to the 129, right? You can't hear me, huh? Can you guys hear me on the over there? Oh,
now I got sound.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I didn't hear a word you said. I lost all sound.
So what I said was another decent trick you can do is if you're only hitting like 142, don't try and go to the 139.9 class. playing the 129.9 class. So if you make a mistake, you can catch up, right?
Yep.
If you make a mistake, you're in the 139.9 class and you only have 142 decibels in your car, you're never going to catch up.
Nope. And that's another thing as well is when you're qualifying, I try to qualify with just what I need, because I'm usually running, like when I was doing the 149.9 class, 160 was as loud as my rig basically would be. I think 165 in the end, towards the end of when I was competing, about 165 was my max. So I could do 159.9, but before that, when I was only at a 160, 161, and if I was doing 149.9 and I qualified with that 150 and it bumped me up to that next one, I was giving it everything I had to try to stay in that class, and I wasn't competitive with it. So don't try to fill some britches that you're probably not going to be able to fill. Just qualify just enough to get in there. When it comes to finals, though, you better be right on it, because everybody's qualifying with that 9.9 just about every time. So that's when you really need to start practicing that. But throughout the year, just make sure that just get it down, get that feel of what's comfortable for you is the best way to put it, in my opinion.
Yep. And then, you got guys that do 155 and playing the 129.9 class, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes it's easier to control your system that low. But you find in general, it's difficult to control your system when you have that much headroom to do the 129.9. It's not easy.
Doesn't take much.
No. And just so you guys know, good songs to go are the Boom Check songs. They're new. They've been on the DV Jam CDs for a while. Boom Check 1 is 20 to 26 hertz. Boom Check 2, I believe, is 26 to 33. And I think 3 is like 33 to 36 or something. And they're basically just keep going up about those increments. And you can just find the boom check that fits and works within your system the best. And that's very simple to use. It's always available. You have it, your judge has it. That's my suggestion to you guys in base race. Okay, so let's go. Now we did base race. Let's talk about Cyclone a little bit. You were the king of Cyclone. You even have a YouTube channel called King of Cyclone, right? Is that still open?
I switched it to Gary Killian since I'm the king of nothing now.
so now it's Gary Killian. But that's your YouTube you switched?
Yeah, it comes up under both, I believe.
Okay. So anyway, Gary, he was, I believe, the first guy to hit over 400 on Cyclone. That was with his song or sound quality score, because we used to do art with the RTA. We still have that as an option. We just don't run it very often because it's not the exciting, the draw the crowd in, because DB drag is about drawing the crowd in. And so we have the new classes last year, I believe we started, and they're called demo. So instead of 30 seconds, it's 60 seconds, and we remove the RTA. So, but Gary's he would RTA 99, like a bad RTA for Gary would be 98?
Yeah, they had it dialed in. It was pretty dialed in till I messed with it. If I messed with it, I could ruin it. But if I just left it where it was set, I had really good scores with it.
So you're looking that, and then your SPL would be in the mid 50s, and then you'd be playing around 20 or 26 hertz, right?
Yeah, 20. Yep. 26. I think 26 was the highest.
Yeah, and so you add all that stuff up. So a Cyclone is the driver door fully open to the furthest open locking position. And then you can have blockers sit in front of your door or not. It's up to you. Some cars it helps, some cars it hurts. And then the distance the blockers are from your door makes a difference too, because that's venting your car. It's one of the few DB drag classes that we allow you to vent your vehicle during the run. But now it's a 60-second average of music. And like I said, the difference between that and base race was in base race, you have to watch the light, because if you start early, you get a red light. Now in Cyclone, you start and then we start the meter. So that helps you with your first note out of the box is probably the best note you're going to get, right?
Yep, that's right.
Leslie says you get a bunch of big dudes and men in the doors. So,
Yeah. It didn't really help. It didn't really help my rig though, because mine was tuned too low at that time, and it was odd. We tried it, and it just didn't. Sometimes I would actually go down on the score. It didn't really work that well for me like it did other people.
Blocking or leaving it open?
Yeah, blocking. Yeah, the big guys in the blocking, beer bellies. Beer bellies are great for doing stuff like that.
So they helped you, right?
Well, I had them block for me a couple times, and I noticed that my score didn't go up. It actually would go down a little bit.
Okay.
Nothing else. Yeah.
Leslie says she's the big dude that would block for you. And then we got this guy Grant Stapleton watching, and he says, Leslie, I doubt that you would have made any effect because you're not one of the big guys.
Yeah, she's not one of the big guys.
So no, I mean, as far as tips, you have any tips for Cyclone? I mean, I know it's slightly changed, but and also one of the rules that changed is now you have to use the DB Jam CD. So most likely everybody's going to use Boom Check, right?
Yep.
So your song's kind of already depicted for you. You pick the song that fits your system the best.
Yeah. So that would change. I mean, what I was doing was I was looking for something that had the lowest frequencies possible because mine just responded to really stupid low frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always looking for a song like that. But if they've got a formatted disc, you have to use that disc. Some of the things that I was doing, I mean, it just kind of blows us out of the water because, I mean, we were looking for what we could, to come in at the closest to 20 hertz all the way through, something that doesn't have any kind of gaps in it, no lag on the from the intro to the time that the bass kicks in.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically Cyclone was a little different. I mean, it was pretty much just kind of a balls out, just go for it thing, and just hope that you can hold it together at those frequencies with your cones jumping like this. And I mean, I always had my eyes kind of squinted, and it wasn't because of the wind. It was because I figured there was going to be a dust cone or something, cover or something flying, or a chunk of cone flying out of there, and I didn't want to get hit in the face again. One time I got a little cut right here, and I've gone for broke, and I've picked up a lot of pieces in the cabin of my rig before. So it's just with that, when you've got to use, the songs they're providing for you, it's basically just know your volumes, know the control on your system, get that SPL rocking and rolling before you tap that horn, to start that clock, and just go for it. Learn the little tricks, like you say, with the blocking. So you can still block now.
Oh yes, you're absolutely allowed to block.
Yep.
So the other thing is so the lower the frequency is, the more bonus dB you get.
Yep.
Right? So for every hertz below 80, you get a bonus dB, with the max being at the 20 hertz. So 20 hertz would be an extra 60 dB, right? So for example, if you hit the 26 hertz, but you were at 155 dB, right? So now you get the bonus of 54. So that means you have a total score for SPL of 129, right? Or 199, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you play 20 hertz and only go to 150, now you have a total score of 200. So you gained an extra dB by playing lower.
Yep.
Even though the dB level wasn't as high, your bonus compensated for that. And I will say in Cyclone, it doesn't matter what class people are in. In general, there's usually less than a 3 or maybe even 4% at the most gap between the worst score and the best score. I mean, we're talking world-class guys like you, Gary, that would come in and just destroy the numbers. And so you would hit 411, say, roughly, and last place there will be 380.
Yeah.
The percentage difference between 380 and 411 is almost nothing, and that'd be some guy in a trunk car.
Yeah.
And so I really, really, really enjoy the Cyclone format. Help develop it a little bit. I think it's really cool. It has a lot of help and use towards the new guy. We call it our demo class, right? It's the guy that wants to demo his vehicle. That's perfect for them. Come in, show off your vehicle to people all day long, but jump in a class, and Cyclone's perfect for that, right?
Yep. Absolutely. It's a great one for the demo guys because they like to play the low stuff too, you know?
Yep.
So it's just kind of built for them.
You can do a hair trick during your run.
Yeah, exactly.
A little mustache trick.
Nose hair, mustache hair, maybe hair on your back. You know, that old man stuff. You don't know yet, but it's coming.
I'm rolling up on them ages. Let's go to, I want to say top dog for last. So let's do DB drag next. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you got a DB drag win. Tell us about your DB drag win.
Well, my DB drag win wasn't one of those that I could say, oh, I just prepped so well. I just had everything so finely tuned. I mean, I went in there and I just kicked butt. No, not how it happened. How that one happened was when I wasn't even going to go because I knew I was going to get waxed because the one and only Craig Butler, I was in his class. And if you don't know who Craig Butler is, crawl out from under that rock that you've been under and start Googling, and you'll see that he's just an icon in DB drag. Yep. And he's just been somebody that I've looked up to forever. And just to even be in the same event as him is always just a pleasure. Seeing him roll up, not knowing if it's going to be another world record, another ring for him, is just one of the reasons why I enjoyed the sport was Mr. Craig Butler. And I had to compete against him one year, and I just knew I was going to just get my clock cleaned. So I actually, knowing I'm not going to win, put in a CD, Highway to Hell. And when we got up there and we were gonna go, I was gonna let him go do his thing, and then I was just gonna open my door, DQ, play Highway to Hell, dance my little happy fat butt around, and just hopefully he was gonna set another record or do something great. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, he had mechanical malfunction, and so that was unfortunate. So they said, hey, you can take the win, or if you want, you can give him the time to, try to come back. Well, of course, I mean, that's the whole point and why we do this is the camaraderie of this whole thing. And I'm not going to take a win like that. The ring didn't come that way. Close, but not quite that way. And so we gave him the time to see if we can figure out what the problem was. And we came back and we ran again later. And it was... behind the scenes, I was talking to him. I spent some time over there hoping they were going to get it taken care of. And he was asking me, he goes, what kind of numbers you do? And I said, I'm like 64, 65. And he says, well, we still can't get the amps to, can't get them to come on. So I don't know what the problem is. But if I don't remember exactly what it was, but it's something to the effect of, if I turn on my line driver before I turn on my amps, or if I turn my amps on for a line driver, whatever it was, he goes, I'll get a pop. And some of you guys are going to know what we're talking about with that, pop that you get.
It's a turn on pop.
To turn off, his turn on pop was however he was doing it. He goes, and I can usually pop about a mid-60s. He goes, that's maybe my only chance of beating you. And so that's really humbling when you sit here and you think the man that you're going against, the legend himself, his system pops louder than your system wangs on its best day. So that was kind of a humbling thing. And unfortunately, it wasn't able to happen for him that year. And so we got up there, and it did come on a little bit. I don't know if it popped or because you can't hear anything out of his. I mean, his little is 180 plus dB, and it's like you can't even hear it because it's just a big, vault. And I don't remember what the number was he got up to, but it was, I don't remember offhand. I don't even remember my number. My number was maybe a 64 or something like that. But I was just kind of in awe, and I was watching. and I was waiting for him to come back, and I said, "Oh, is he messing with me?" And like the guy's saying, "Craig, don't mess with anybody. If it's not happening for him." And I'm sitting there, and I wasn't even paying attention, but the clock's whittling down to 5, 4, 3 seconds left, and they're going, "Go, go, go!" And oh yeah, I'm still in it, and I railed it up, and just happened to squeak by, and it was really bittersweet for me because, like I said, I've idolized that man. I still do to this day. I will till the day I die. And, to take that win that way, I mean, of course, one more ring, one more championship, but that's why I chose that black stone on that ring is, that was the whole black sheep thing. It's like, it just shouldn't have happened, shouldn't have been there. And that one stands out from all the other colors. And, when I explained that, it's like, well, this is one that was a bittersweet deal for me. And, that man deserves every championship he's ever had. I didn't deserve that, but we have won and lost due to some sort of a mechanical failure, malfunction. And I've been on both sides of that.
Yeah.
I mean, both sides. That's like when we were talking about, being prepared and knowing where you're at. Like my system when I was running 14-volt batteries, and it would charge up to, 15, almost 16 volts. And one time at finals, going for championship, and I went to rail into it, and everything just stopped. Nothing. I looked inside, and my faceplate was my head unit was blacked out. It shut off. Spiked up too high on the voltage, deck didn't take it, shut off, and I just watched that one go by. And so just shaking that hand, saying congratulations, with that big smile on my face, and inside was killing me, but it happens to all of us,
Yeah.
So sometimes positive, sometimes negative, but that's how that one happened. So
it is another ring, right?
yeah,
It's
another ring.
Yep.
Not real deserving on my end, but I mean, it's another ring. So,
part of DB drag, at least at the World Finals level, for sure, is your system has to be able to adapt and perform through an extended amount of time, right?
Oh yes, sir.
So not only do you have to be the loudest, but you got to be the loudest and be able to sustain being loud. Right?
Yep.
So if you're blowing subwoofers, you got, like, say you tie somebody, right? You blow your subwoofers, you got 5 minutes to replace all of your subwoofers, right? There was one year, I don't remember who it was, but I did have, there was a guy with 1212s, I believe, and he blew all of his subs in a run. And like I said, you have 5 minutes to reset. And he had a team of guys. Once again, all this stuff is, a lot of it's, nobody does it by themselves. Even the guys that when you make it to the top, there's no way you got there by yourself, right?
No, absolutely not.
There's so many people that helped you and got you to where you were. Anyway, so this guy he changed out 12 12s in 3.5 minutes.
Was it John Robbie and his crew? Were they there helping?
No.
Because they've jumped in my rig, and they just pushed me out of the way without asking. I didn't ask anybody.
I think it was Collier, to be honest with you. It might have been Collier. It was when we were in Louisville, I believe. I saw that. I think they were incriminator subs, and he knew he was gonna blow them, but they were on point, and they changed them all out in a matter of, like 3.5 minutes, all 12 of them, reinstalled, wired, ready to go. It was awesome.
That's NASCAR pit crew.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. They had guys standing outside just handing woofers in, guys in the back as the woofers were going into the faceplate. They were plugging wires in them.
And you know what I like? You know what I like about this competition is that a lot of times that will be the guys you're competing against.
Oh, absolutely.
That will jump in and help you, and that's what I really like about this sport.
Yep. Everybody. Don't get me wrong. Everybody wants to win, but they are going to help. One of the things the guys do at my shows, which I'm really, really proud of, that the guys in my area do this. If they get beat or they beat somebody, they step out of their car, they go over and they shake the hand of their competitor.
Absolutely.
Win, lose, best
Yep.
friends, biggest enemies, whatever. It
Mm-hmm.
They go out and say, "Hey, good run."
Yep.
That's a big deal, right?
Yep. That's right.
And I'm not even talking about like your normal competitor. I'm talking about the new guy especially.
Mm-hmm.
Gary Killian just stomped you in base race, but he thought it was important enough to get out of his car and shake your hand. Right? That's a big deal, especially to somebody new. And that's what this is about, right? So we're trying to bring on the new people, and without the new people, we don't grow.
We were all new people at one time. We all start off as the new guy.
Absolutely.
You know? Yep.
I was a new guy back in 98, right?
You're an old
98,
man.
99-ish. I was the new guy. But like I said, so that's all. DB drag is fun. And for the people, like I said, once again, for you guys who don't understand the way DB drag works, is it's the loudest single note in your vehicle. You have 30 seconds to come up with it. The car's all sealed up. Most likely you want to play a test tone, whether it be 34 hertz or 79 hertz. Depends on what class you're on. The frequencies vary. Gary was in Super Street X or Super Street 5 Plus, depending on what year it was, right? So, and you were Extreme also. So you were Extreme is where you won your ring.
Yeah, I think Super Street. I think that's Super Street X. I think that came right towards the end.
Yes, sir.
For me. Yeah. So I was always in Craig Butler's class, and yeah, it was a different world back then. And I think that was a great thing that they did coming up with that other class, because you never felt it was fair when you were building for music and you wanted to be the musical one, but then if you want to be in TV drag, you had to go compete against stuff like that. But that's how it is, though. I mean, Craig is there because for a reason. I mean, that's what he built for. He built to be in that class. My fault for trying to go and take my little puppy dog ass up there off the porch and jump out there and run with the big dogs. So just think about when you're building your system, if you want to compete, think about it, because you want to be happy when you do it. We all start off not as competitors, but we start off just with something that we're proud of. We like to show it off. We like to go
music, out. Right?
Exactly. It's a love of bass, basically. And then when we go to the competitions, when you're not competing, you say, "Holy cow! I wonder how I would do. I wonder if I could beat him, but I don't want to get embarrassed. I don't want to, don't want to tuck tail type of thing." Well, sometimes it's not all about pride. Just go and just try it. See what you think. You could have the guy on the sideline that just has his system that he just threw together that will go out and just literally stomp the crap out of a lot of the competitors, and he doesn't know, and he won't know unless he goes out and tries it. And then once you do try it, even if you lose, you get that bug and you say, "Ow, almost got him. Oh, what can I change?" And then you do it, and then you come back and you try it again. And then when you get that first win under your belt, it's over. It's over. I mean, you're not paying for this and that. You're buying bigger subwoofers. You're buying bigger power. You're buying more batteries. And it's just, sometimes maybe cocaine would be a cheaper addiction, if you're into car audio. And it is. It's like a drug. And I'll tell you, as old as I am, 54 years old now, I didn't get out of it. I just ran into some serious financial heartaches, hardships, and we're coming back. There's been a lot of work done on that excursion by some amazing people, and I just can't wait to see what it's going to be doing. And so we're coming back now. We're getting over that hump, and I didn't grow out of it. That's for dang sure. So I'm coming back. You just got to be able to afford, because there's some big boys out there, and I'm probably going to be into it till I just can't get out of bed and go do it again. I mean, I can't grow out of it. So we'll see. So we'll watch. We'll see when I sneak back in. See if I get lucky again,
So,
time or two.
since you're traveling all over the country still, do you stop by and meet up with bass heads as you're going around the country and get demos and stuff still, or?
Yeah, I still love to do that. I was doing that a lot right back when, kind of when I was just out of the competing.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody even knows who I am. I mean, literally. I used to be able to say, hey, I'm going to be heading through Dallas or something. Anybody, someone who wants to give me a demo. I mean, I can't believe, I mean, it just literally just pulled at my heart when I would go on Facebook and say, hey, I'm going to be coming through Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
And if, anybody's heads out there, I'd love to get a demo. And you roll up and a parking lot is full of people. I mean, there's 24 cars there.
Right.
With crowds of people, and and it's like, and I'm like, oh my goodness, and I mean, you just love it. I mean, that is just that's just an amazing feeling, and then you get to meet these guys, and they say, hey, I've watched your videos, or hey, I've been following you for a while, and this and that. I mean, it really gives a worth, because so many people just feel like, oh, it's just throwing away money. I mean, you're never going to get your money back out of something like this that you build. You're doing it because you love it.
Right.
And the only thing that we really get back out of it, the money never comes back, but that satisfaction, and that it's a kind of a self-worth type thing. When you've got so many people say, hey, I got into this because of you, type of thing. You sit here and you go, I mean, that makes me feel great. And then on the other hand, I'm thinking, God, I hope I'm not ruining any relationships or something when the wife finds out how much money he's going to be spending on doing something like this, but still, I do. I enjoy meeting people all over the place. I haven't done that in a while because what I'm doing now when I'm out trucking is I got to kind of hurry up and get there, and to get you back. But sometimes on the way back, though, I watch. I dabble in Facebook a little bit, see what's going on. If I see there's something that I like to stop in, I typically check and I see if you got any shows going on when I'm headed out your way. And typically I just missed one, or I'm in between.
You like to be a week early or a week late to the shows out here.
Yeah. Story of my life, man. That's just the way it seems to go.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to Top Dog. So this currently is like definitely one of my favorites. It's very similar to Base Race. The only major difference in Top Dog is that you can have your car vented if you want. You don't have to have it sealed up. But the people that do it know that they have a better control over their systems when it's sealed up, because you have less environmental things affecting you. But it's if you win, you keep staying in the lanes and you go again and again and again until you finally lose. And it's a double elimination system. It's a 30-second average of music. But if you tie, in Base Race, if you tie, they have 30 seconds to reset your song, and then you do another 30-second run. If you tie 3 times, then they pick up a random number. Instead of 139.9, it could be 135.2. And you guys got to hit that. Well, in Top Dog, you just keep going. So you hit 0, you guys are tied, it adds 10 seconds. And you go and you keep going for that 10 seconds. And you're tied again, adds 10 more seconds. And it just keeps adding 10 more seconds until we finally get a winner. Right? Now, Top Dog is based on points. So it's kind of like a video game. So you want to get as many points as you can. Whoever has the most points at the end is the winner. Obviously, if you lose, you can't continue to gain points. So the longer you win, the more points you gain. If you tie and then lose, the winner of every tie gets half of the other person's points. Now, Gary has a really hard time with this concept.
Gary does.
Understanding when sometimes it's better to lose than to win.
Yeah. Gary doesn't like to lose ever. So Gary goes for the win every time. And then when you're out there and you win 15, 16, 18, whatever runs in a row, and you just feel like you're just crapping on everybody.
Yep.
And you feel like you're just up here. And then you're winning and winning, and then you tie, and then you end up losing one, and all of a sudden you went from up here to just down on the bottom, and then that guy come in and he ran 2 runs to your 20, and he won. And it's like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm not a poker player. That's why I don't get it. I always go for the win. And sometimes you just got to learn. You got to learn how to play that game is what you got to learn how to do.
Yeah. So I mean, it's real simple though, but it's the same setup, right? So when you pull in the lane, you already have your song queued up. You're beyond whatever intro is on the song.
Yes.
And this has got the song quality just like Bass Race does, where it checks your song quality, right? So typically the boom check songs are pretty good. And so you just pull in, you're ready to go. That way when I ask you, and you could be Nyman like and just go, oh, I gotta roll up my windows. I love Nyman to death, but good Lord, is that guy the slowest to get ready to run a Bass Race run? But
it was switches, and it was getting everything on in mine, and they were always saying like, Gary, come on, get in the game. Yeah. And it was always making sure this is on, making sure that's right.
You have your checklist, right?
Oh yeah.
And you gotta make sure you hit your checklist. Is your volume knob at 6? Is your bass knob at a quarter, or whatever it is, right? So you got your checklist. You got to still do that stuff, and I understand that. But sometimes some of these guys, good gracious.
Yeah.
So anyway, Top Dog. Thoughts, tips, tricks, anything for Top Dog?
Probably the best thing, because it's got me, is to make sure that your music is going to be long enough, that you got enough music, because your ass will run out of music when you keep winning and you tying and you keep going. And I've done it. I'm just playing, all of a sudden it just stops. And I'm like, what then? I'm looking around. What happened? Oh yeah, ran out of music because I've been playing for so long. And like I said, there's things that happen that you'll never expect. Another one, pay attention to this, guys. Pay attention. Don't use your phone. So many people, I've never done this, but I've seen so many people kicking butt, and all of a sudden, oh, hello? Oh yeah, baby, bad time to call me. So don't use your phone.
Yep. I get all the time in the lanes when the one guy's playing against another guy, they're friends or whatever. I'm all, call him right now.
Yep.
That's always hilarious when people do that. I love that thing. Shoot him a text. Just interrupt his song for a second.
Exactly.
That's another good thing about the boom check songs. They're a minute and a half, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they're a minute and a half long. So that's pretty helpful, especially with the Cyclone, right? Or the Cyclone and the Top Dog.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of fun. Memories towards, like I said, Top Dog's one of my favorite. And out here in the West Coast, we actually give cash away to the winner of Top Dog. So it's $5 for every competitor that's in there. So if there's 10 guys competing, we end up giving out $50 to the winner of Top Dog, plus a dog tag, plus the trophy, right? So I really put a lot into the Top Dog. We got Adrian Hernandez watching now. He says, real bass heads talk OG to OG. Also got Jeremy Kramer. He says he might know us.
Maybe.
Yeah, that he'd be the. Is he Alabama, or? He's the Southeast.
I don't even know where I'm at, let alone.
He's the Southeast DB drag judge. Him and I talk all the time. Questions about vehicles. We try and share information so that we're judging it as accurately as we possibly can. Being all the way across the country, 3,000 miles away from each other.
Sure.
Yeah, he says Alabama, that's the place.
Alabama, that's the place.
Yeah, I thought he was close to Incriminator and stuff. So yeah, so that's cool. Anyway, so with all that being said, just to let the guys know on the chat, I'm only watching the Sonic FX chat, so I can only see when people throw questions in on Sonic FX. I can't see if you get throwing them on anything that was shared. So if you guys want to jump onto the Sonic FX webpage, you don't have to be a member or anything like that. Just if you'd like to be a member, just ask. But if you guys wanted questions to send to Gary, or questions for me to read off to Gary, you need to do it on that page. So if you're watching on another shared page, I won't see them. So anyway, anything that you particularly like? What shows have you been to that are just stand out in your mind, or what do you got for me there, Gary?
Well, out here, I remember that before I moved out here, I just couldn't wait to come to all these shows, the big shows, what everybody says, the big shows.
Mm-hmm.
The big shows are out here. And I just literally got spoiled off of, I guess, little shows on the West Coast on the way that you do things, because I've always referred to you as an auctioneer, like when we're doing our base racing, because I don't think that, the times that we've gone out to dinner and, met up afterwards, you've ever had a voice afterwards. You always had that scratchy, hoarse voice because you're or this and that. These guys out here that are watching me think I'm crazy because I'm throwing my arms around like you. So I'm not crazy, guys. So I'm here at the tire shop. Anyway, yeah, I mean, you get down. I mean, you get the crowd really involved. I've always just been blown away by how much effort you put into it, and I didn't realize that until I started going to everybody else's shows, and I just thought, man, you're just one of a kind, and I've really enjoyed them. I've always enjoyed, the awards that you've always had. I would see videos or pictures or something on Facebook of all these big ones, and I think, I'm going to get back there and check those out. And they don't have that out here. And some people don't care. Some people don't care about awards. Me, I was just always, I always referred to myself as a trout, man. I'm just attracted to shiny stuff, big shiny trophies, and I got to go after them. I remember that there would be shows, multiple shows, this and that. And it's like, which one are you going to go to? I said, where I'm going to get the biggest trophy at.
Yep.
Because I remember for the longest time, I was trying to get to a point where we all want to get sponsored by somebody. We always want, how do you get into that? How do you get into that? Well, I'll tell you how. Get out there and put a lot of work into it. Put your money into it. Put your time in. Try to win everything you can, but even if you're not winning, just get out and just do it. Just, be seen. Let people see that it's in your heart. It's what you're doing. I get that more than anything. How do you get? And then the other thing is they always think that means that everything's free. Oh my goodness. No.
Those days are gone.
Those days are gone before I ever got into it. Nothing's free. Yeah. And hey, but if you give me some stuff, I'll put a sticker on my rig. It doesn't work that way. This has been taught, this has been hit on so many times, but a lot of people still don't get it. So I still try to get that out there. But it's so easy for me to just get off onto another track because there's so much into the whole car audio thing. But going back to where we were at with about the shows, we've got my battery dying. I still got 15%, so I'll hang in for a little bit. So if I do a little magic trick and disappear, it's not magic. It's my battery's dying, and I don't have a charger in here. So I like the enthusiasm. I like the fact that you got a lot of people involved. You involved the spectators. You knew everything about this guy. This is his third year, and he's done this, he's done that. And I go, I can't figure out how you remember all this stuff about everybody. That was really awesome. That's what I liked about, like I said, in your awards. When I came out here, it's a little different, kind of laid back. All the shows I've been to out here have been great. I mean, love the people, and people got their own ways of doing it. And I haven't been to any that I don't like. Ed and Mindy Ramos, they were competitors. I don't remember, because I got a horrible memory, if it was like a mecha thing. What they did something, they were competitors, and then they started their own FCBC, for competitors by competitors, basically. And they are like family. I love them to death. They are just amazing people. They've got formats, so they run four vehicles across a line at one time. when they came out for our wedding, when we had a big show. I think we had like four different
Yeah.
organizations like at my wedding.
Yeah, and
And
we did it,
yeah,
across
we did
the
it head to
internet
head.
too, right? So we had
Yep,
Jay's
yep,
Alarms and your wedding going head to head against each other, just like we do at World Finals. Yeah.
yeah, it was awesome. And so they do a great one out here. I love those guys to death. But a lot of them, I mean, they're all good. They've all got their own, things that I really enjoy. I just wish that, I could have kept going the way that I was, and then, now it's like health, things. You start
Mm-hmm.
getting older, and you start, your health isn't quite as good, and you start thinking, and the wife's saying, well, you really want to travel all over the place and do that, or would you rather, kind of stay home with me? But she's been so supportive. And she knows, I mean, once we get the excursion going again, we're going to be hitting some shows again. I mean, I bought that truck and trailer so I could hit these shows and travel all over with my rigs. And then she
Mm-hmm.
says, now that you spent that much money on those, why don't you get a job with it so we can pay some things? So, but I do plan on loading the rig back up, hitting these shows again as soon as we get it going again. So then I'll be back down the West Coast too. I'll be traveling all over the place. So I'll be back with it when we're going. That's for
So
sure.
So I'm going to share one story, but one thing I really do appreciate is back in the days, Gary would be the barbecue master, right? So one person would bring a pit, Gary would bring the meat, Gary would barbecue. Dude, that was awesome. I don't eat, obviously, when I'm doing my shows because it makes me feel lethargic. And as you mentioned, my thought process is me as a judge is I am high energy, and if I eat, I get lethargic. So I don't want to do that. So speaking of us going out to eat, so after Autorama one year, I put everything into my events. I truly do. When I leave those events, I am dog tired. I'm 100% all the way, all the time. And so we go out to eat at Applebee's right across the street from Autorama. And I'm like, dude, I gotta go. I gotta get outside. So I'm outside. I'm cramping up so bad that it's making me puke because my legs hurt so bad that I can barely even stand. And so Gary looks out and he sees me standing in the bushes puking while there's, I don't know, 25, 30 people sitting there trying to eat dinner.
Outside their window. That
But
was hilarious.
yeah.
That was hilarious. And I ran with it too. I said, look, I guess he don't like his food either.
Yeah, but what it is I put all my effort into it, and I truly do get worn out at the shows. And
Yeah.
I do have bad legs, and usually the day after a show, I have a difficult time sleeping and walking. So, but I do, like I said, I love what I do. I love to help people out, get people involved. All that stuff is super cool. Big fan of all that. Anyway, sponsors, Gary, anybody you want to thank for being part of your builds, part of, what you got going on?
I've had so many. I mean, and lately, RP Patel up there in Indiana, he has been working on this thing. Him and Hank Beach. I mean, all the guys. I mean, they've put in so much into that rig, and being part of that team is going to be fantastic. I just wish I could have just hung on and kept on going because they had big plans, for like that new Cyclone class was another thing we were.
Uh-oh. We lost you, Gary. All right. I think Gary's we can't hear you, Gary. I can't hear you. Nope. I think his battery is about toast and we can't hear him anymore. Just letting you guys know. So with that being said, I'm gonna just point out that Gary has a he made. Oh, did I hear you, Gary? Nope. Okay. All right. Well, so Gary has a thing where he sells dogs now. So if you guys are interested in the not German, I think it's Austrian. They're very similar to the very, very similar to like a German Shepherd, but they are police dogs and whatnot. Hook up with Gary. He can't hear. Sleece chiming in. I will let you guys know. But hey, next week we are going. That's Monday. These shows will continue on Mondays at 6 p.m. California time. We will have next week will be Lucky. So tune in at 6 o'clock with Lucky, and we will hear all that. Malinois. There we go. Leslie says the Malinois. Leslie, if you can put a link in the chat right there for you guys and your dogs, that's one thing you guys can do. Gary also is making some rubs and steak seasonings and whatnot. You guys can also get that through, I think it's Gary's Kitchen or something. I'll ask Leslie once again, please put that in a link in the chat, and that way it'll be there. Anything else you guys have for me, just let me know. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Once again, next week we are going to go, we're going to have Lucky McGovern. We are going to schedule all this stuff outright. And like I said, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to make this into YouTube next, and then eventually I'm going to put these things on iHeart as podcasts for you guys to listen to. It's Hidden Acres Purebreds, so says Leslie, and Gary Killian's Kitchen is the for Gary Kelly's rub and stuff. So, all right, guys, I just want to thank you one more time. I'm gonna hit the outro here, and see you guys again on Monday with Lucky McGovern.